You're listening to English with Monty, the podcast about the English language. Today is 8-Minute English, talking about adjective word order. Hello there and welcome to 8-Minute English. I've got an excellent and lovely man on the show today.
Who's the lovely man? Tell me. Spill the beans.
Spill the beans. It's you. I'm being nice to you.
Oh, me?
I know it's unusual.
Talking about someone else.
Very occasionally I'm nice to you, aren't I? Well, I've used a bit of an order. So we're going to do things on adjective order. And just before this episode, you told me you're not really great on this. Is that right?
It's not like not great, but I think sometimes it's done as a joke where people have to put in 8 adjectives before a noun. And in reality, in real English, you never use more than 2 adjectives, very occasionally 3. You never put a beautiful green, emeralds, old black diamond, whatever. I don't know. I'm just making it up. But no one ever speaks like that. And they teach this in English classes. It's never used. It's good to know 2 or 3 adjectives before a noun, but doing exercise where you have to put 5 or 6 adjectives before a noun is ridiculous because it never happens. I think maybe twice in my life would I said a phrase like that. Don't you think?
I do think so, yeah. I suppose the reason why it exists is not necessarily that you're putting 6 or 7 adjectives before a noun. It's just to give a guideline, isn't it, when you're using the 2 or 3 adjectives as to what sounds correct in what place.
Also, I have a problem with it because no native speaker would learn the rules, which is first general opinion, then specific opinion, then size, then shape, then age, then color, then nationality, then material. I'm reading it now. One of the things you learn from speaking, you get it instinctively. I guess it's good to know the rules, but in the end of the day, just listen out and use it, and I think you'll pick it up. I'm not against grammar. I'm all for grammar. I'm teaching grammar. I love everything about grammar. I'm just saying that you're never going to go through your mind, right, I have to do some adjectives now. Which one goes first?
You're absolutely right, but I suppose that's with spoken English, isn't it? Maybe if you're doing something written and you have a bit more time to look at things, maybe you can use it as a reference point, can't you? To some extent, that could be the way that you get more used to the order when you are speaking, because it is about what sounds right, isn't it? If I said to you that you're a young, nice, handsome man, it sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? Not because I'm using those positive adjectives, but it's because of the order. I would say a nice, handsome young man, right?
Okay. If I say, for example, that this is a stupid, old, black German dog, but we wouldn't say that. We say this dog is so stupid and he's old. This black dog is so stupid and old and German. You would break the sentence, wouldn't you? And I think even a native speaker couldn't remember 8 adjectives before the noun.
I absolutely agree with you on that side of things. It is, though, when you break it down to the 2 or 3 adjectives to make sure that those go in the right order, right? That's why it's nice to have that reference point. And yeah, you're right. You're not going to remember general opinion, specific opinion, size, shape, age, color, nationality, material. You're not going to remember that order. That's absolutely correct. But if you are writing, then perhaps look at it, see which ones there are. If you do want to add something a bit more descriptive, 1, 2, 3 adjectives. We're not really going to have more than 3 adjectives, are we, typically? And it seems a bit odd, doesn't it? As you say, you would break up the sentence, wouldn't you? You'd put them into a different sentence, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We've briefly spoken about that, but maybe it's a good idea to put it more practical use. You're going to have to put some sentences in the right order.
Okay. Big has he got rucksack a red? He has got a big red rucksack.
Indeed. In this case, you are definitely putting the size before the color, aren't you?
That's true.
If you said red big rucksack, it would sound a bit odd, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. No, you're right. With 2 or 3, I'm absolutely fine with it. But when there's artificially 6 or 7 in a sentence. Okay, there's another one here. Do you want me to read it.
Go ahead.
An interesting Dutch bought painting they old have. So they have bought an interesting old Dutch painting.
Would be
Is that
correct.
right? I'm hesitating because it's not the sort of thing that you analyze. It's instinctive, isn't it?
It is instinctive, isn't it? Exactly.
You can overthink it. I think I got
Mm.
caught out a long time ago when I taught this in classroom. It was in one book. I was sometimes overthinking, get caught out myself.
It can be a little bit easy to get caught out yourself because I suppose it's interesting before old. Probably doesn't make a huge difference, does it, if you say they bought an old interesting rather than interesting old? But yeah, you were absolutely right with what you were saying. It's a bit unusual, isn't it, to use those three adjectives at the same time? You
It's true. I
three
said two, but three is okay. I think over three is so rare.
over three, definitely. This is
You
a
could
good
do the
one.
next one.
I'm not sure if I can. So adopted, a white, my girlfriend, beautiful kitten, small. My girlfriend adopted a small, beautiful white kitten. Is that correct? Again, I hesitated
You see, you're
slightly.
overthinking, aren't you?
I am.
It always happens. Yeah. You usually go
Small.
with your first answer. It's usually correct.
Was I correct?
I think somebody said a beautiful small white kitten. No one would notice really, but it's not quite correct, is it?
It's not. It doesn't sound quite right.
Beautiful small white kitten.
Maybe for
Three.
literary purposes, you might change it around a bit for emphasis on certain
Yeah.
adjectives.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. A white, beautiful small kitten. No, I don't know. You see what I mean? Even with three, it's giving you a heartache, headaches, but five or six, yeah.
Perhaps not heartaches, but certainly headaches. That's true.
Your girlfriend's white kitten. That's what I was thinking.
If it gets run over, then there will be heartache. So let me do the next one. Ancient, huge Phil in a lives lovely brick house. That makes sense, doesn't it? Don't have to do anything with that. Phil lives in a lovely ancient brick house. Is that correct?
Yes. See, we're teachers with many years of experience, but yeah, I think that's right.
It's not
I think that
straightforward,
we're
is it?
working on different parts of the brain because we know the grammar rules, but this one, it's a conflict of the rules and our instinct, and we're checking one with the other.
It is
Yeah.
very true, isn't it? But it's trying to think in your mind or reflecting what sounds right.
Amazing new, this motorbike. Seen Japanese, you have? You've seen this amazing new Japanese motorbike. I
That's
think I got
correct.
it right.
You did get it right.
Checking the rules. And one more. He round gave me silver box, a tiny. He gave me a tiny round silver box.
He did, yeah.
The material's right at the end, isn't it?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because obviously silver could be a color or a material, couldn't it?
This material comes last, or one of the last, isn't it?
That's right. I think you've passed the test.
No, it was good. I think two or three, I'm actually fine with. So I
Good.
get stuck if it's like five or six.
Good. These examples didn't have more than two or three.
You know, it's a good exercise.
Yeah, I thought it was quite fun as well. Thank you for joining me, Gideon. You've been listening to 8 Minute English.